Hi everyone. So recently I made a video that why are people switching to iPhones, and there was one point where I said there are a lot of Android phones. I thought that topic was not enough, so I wanted to create a video about it because I wanted to explain why having so many options is not necessarily a good idea. See, I understand having options is not a bad thing. It creates competition which reduces the cost. But the problem is when brand starts to compete with their own brand. I mean, if a brand is creating two phones in the same price bracket, you're going to get confused. I'm not going to talk about a particular brand because I'm sure you know many, but I know you have gone through the same dilemma that I go through because a lot of people ask me to find a phone in certain price bracket and I do the same thing. I go to Google, search that best phone under this price range, or I go to YouTube and search the same thing. The problem is you'll find a lot of tech reviewer with a lot of content. They might be talking about different smartphones. See, there are a lot of smartphones out there and not every reviewer can review every single phone. So you randomly pick a video and then you choose a phone and then you start researching about it. The thing is, it is very hard to find a genuine reviewer, and then even if you find one, he might have some sort of restriction because the review unit they come with some sort of things that you cannot speak about because there are some sort of embargoes that are going on. So in the end, you might end up choosing a wrong smartphone. See, if you are lucky, you might be able to take the right decision, but it's not the case for everyone. And it's not their problem, it's actually really hard. And the first thing you'll face when you choose a wrong smartphone is going to be the software updates. Ershad recently made a great video that how smartphone companies are treating their old phones. Please go check that out and you might find that your phone might not last for a long time. See, for people like us, it's easier to understand like how important software updates are or security patches are, but for a normal consumer, they might not even know what actually updates are. So if there is a vulnerability or a loophole, those are the people who are going to suffer the most or they get scammed, and it happens a lot. See, if a brand is going to release 50 phones per year, it will be really hard for them to update them, and somehow if they manage to do it, those updates might work on one phone and might not work on another. And we are seeing this issue from past couple of years. People are actually afraid from updating their phones, and they give this stupid argument that it's better to not have updates because it might make their phone slow or buggy. That shouldn't be the case. Okay, updates are one thing, but there's one another issue that is going to be the app support. Now, I'm not saying that Android do not have apps. Actually, they have a lot of it. That's another topic. I'll talk about that later. But it will be really hard for developers to optimize every single app for every single smartphone. Now you will say, shouldn't the app work same on every single phone? That's not how it works. An Android developer will feel the pain that somehow a user will report a bug that they couldn't even imagine can happen because they cannot test their app on every single smartphone. So the thing is, there are too many factors. I mean, you get different camera sensors, different RAM types, different RAM size, different CPUs, different type of storage, different screen size, and different aspect ratios. There are actually a lot of factors that a developer cannot predict. So the thing is, let's take an example for social media apps. I mean, you know that iPhones have the best social media platform somehow because on Instagram, on Twitter, or even Snapchat works much better on iPhones. I know Google and Samsung are partnering with these apps and improving, but that also works on certain phones. So what is the problem actually? See, I'm not kidding. Every time I move to Android phone, I feel that Twitter is not working perfectly fine on my Android phone. And that's not because of my phone itself. Maybe the app was not updated because of the new processor, new screen size, or the refresh rate. You know why iPhones, Google Pixel phones, Samsung Galaxy phones are more consistent in their cameras? Because they do not change their camera hardware as often. I mean, Samsung do sometimes they start with their A series phone because once they tried with their S20 Ultra and we know how it goes. So they do their experiment or lower end phone, but they do not change their hardware frequently because it's really hard to improve a new sensor. So all of these brands will pick a new sensor. I mean, they will put either the 12 megapixel, 48 megapixel, 64 megapixel, 108 megapixel, and they make a huge hype about it. But the problem is these sensors come from different brands. Sometimes it's Samsung, sometimes it's Sony or OmniVision, and there are so many brands, and then there are different versions of it. The problem is it is very hard to upgrade these system and keep maintaining the updates for those cameras. So it's very easy to buy a sensor from a different company and put it into your phone. I mean, every mid-range smartphone will have a good sensor right now that can take a great picture. But the problem is with update, the quality might get worse because that update might not be for the same camera sensor because company will release a new phone that might have a new sensor. But that sort of update might not work with your older sensor. See, it's not just the sensor that have improved, it's the AI and processing as well, like the iPhone Deep Fusion and the Samsung Nano Binning. A lot of things, they are most dependent upon the processing. I mean, how a camera can take multiple pictures, how the image signal processor will work, that sort of things. So if a brand is going to release a lot of phone with different sensor, it is going to be hard to update them. And let's suppose even if your camera is working good right now, that might not be case with the new update. Okay, that was about the major problems, but there are some minor problems as well. That could be a huge problem for a lot of people. Like you cannot find a good case or screen protector for a lot of these brands. For example, I'm using this Motorola Edge 30 Pro. For Motorola, it's a flagship phone, but I couldn't find any screen protector or a good case for this phone. It's great that Motorola is providing this case, but you know this is going to turn yellow very soon and I cannot find a good case for it. And it happens with a lot of phones. You cannot get a premium case or a good protection case from a company like Spigen or a lot of brands. Like you get the point. It's hard for people, and there are a lot of people that complains like they want to buy a good screen protector or a case for their phone. They're not available. Which brings me to the sponsor of this video. Capes India make one of the best skins in India and now they're shipping worldwide. So I've been using their skins for a long time. You can mix and match the way you want to and they're not very expensive as well. So I usually like their honeycomb skin and that was one of my favorite when I was using iPhone 13. But on this S22, this is the leather skin that I'm using right now. And I think it looks really premium. So if you don't like this, you have multiple colors you can try on, but you should try this and you go to the Capes India website, try some skin, mix and match, maybe you like something. Even for Capes India, it's not easy to make skins for every single phone, but if they make for yours, get it. And if that was not enough, there's another huge problem that is going to be the resale value of these Android phones. Because there are a lot of competition, it's really hard to sell your phone. I mean, I don't think there's any one of us who have purchased an Android phone and not regretted and they cannot even sell it for a good price. You remember it was happening a lot with LG and that's why they lost a lot of their customers. I mean, you get a phone today, the brand will release a new phone tomorrow and you might not be able to sell that phone because it's older now, because for the same price there's a better phone available from the same brand. Even the brand themselves do not give you the great upgrade policy. I mean, if you purchased a phone, you're stuck with it because there's no return policy in India as well. So if you don't like anything, there is nothing you can do about it. And that leads to dissatisfaction. As a tech reviewer who purchases and sells a lot of phone, I can tell you from experience, the amount of money I lose on such phone by selling them after 10 to 15 days. I'm not going to able to cover these from the YouTube ad revenue. I somehow manage it from the affiliate and sponsorship, but not everyone can do that. And then there's service issues and part unavailability. So brand needs to understand the needs of the customer. They should improve their existing devices, make fewer devices, and improve their services as well and price their phone good because customers do not want to regret buying their phones. I'm sure a lot of you people who are watching this video know this issue exists, but if you didn't, please raise your voices. If you find this video useful, please hit the like and you can just comment whether you agree or disagree with me. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then.